In 10 years, where do you see red pill at?
Oh boy. Well, okay. Everything is tied to inner game. Everything. Your body weight, your money, the quality of women, the quality of relationships, right? All of this shit is
Can you explain inner game really quick, just so people understand that?
Absolutely. So, inner game is your self-esteem as a man and the relationship you have with yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you treat yourself, how you take care of yourself, how you spend money on yourself. A lot of you dudes, a lot of people, my specialty is men because I'm a men's coach, right? Okay. There's no bitches watching this thing.
Yeah, right. It's 90% men, bro.
Yeah. Well, I'm using logic and facts, so of course it's men. But yeah, the frame thing, the inner game is the most important component. And a lot of dudes, they have look, this is new to our time, but in America, the majority of these households are single mother households, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is quantifiable, whether you ask two dudes from the streets or studies, single mother households are very chaotic.
Yeah.
More than a two family household,
mm-hmm.
right? So what's happening is you're having these women, because the women are the ones that are destroying relationships in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be like women ain't shit, but just this is the truth. They're walking away. Women are quitting at an all-time high rate.
Yep.
And in the process of doing that, destroying the family.
Yep.
Literally destroying the family. Fucking up the guy mentally, fucking up the children mentally, and then she gets fucked up the least.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all those people, children suffer the first, they suffer the most, then the men, and then the wife less, right? Unless it's some extreme situation when the dude's whooping her ass, which every woman's like, well, he's probably abusing him. No, look at the fucking numbers. No,
yeah.
Right? These chicks are walking away, and I heard that over 50% of divorce papers and proceedings have the words Facebook and Instagram in them.
Oh my goodness, that's so sad. 20 years ago, we would have never seen it.
When I see a girl that's addicted to social media, I just look at her. I'm like, you're an idiot. I look down at people like that. I'm like, do you have no self-control? Are you so fucked up in the head? But the answer is yes, and it goes back to this. These mothers, when they divorce the fathers, this is traumatizing on the children, no matter what the age. I know I have a friend of mine that when the mother did the divorce, he went into a spiral of depression for a while, long time, very bad. So it happens to you. I'll use myself as an example. I had an aunt that, you ever see The Waterboy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Okay. So his mom, right?
Yeah.
So my aunt was like that when she was like, you're drinking out of a red cup? Red cups are the devil.
That's so funny.
And everything was the devil, dude. So listen, I was actually a good kid. I was doing Pokemon. I was playing Resident Evil 2. I was playing Final Fantasy 8 on PlayStation. But everything was the devil, the devil, the devil.
Yeah.
So they took the Pokemon cards, made me throw it away, right? I was crying my fucking eyes out. First edition Charizard, first edition Blastoise, edition Zapdos, first edition, what is the one, the pink egg, Cheney?
Yeah.
Anyways, I remember. So I did that, and then, you get traumatized when you have these bad emotional situations. This happens to men. This happens to a lot of men. A lot of these men, not a lot, but it does happen that men get sexually molested, and it's really hard for guys to talk about that, and they carry this shit with them into their 30s and 40s and 50s.
It's way more suppressed,
and it happens to members in the family, most likely.
Yes,
that happens to these guys, right? Yep. By men and by women. Women rape young boys too, and so when you have all these traumas, they get stored in your subconscious mind, right? And they cause a lot of emotional and mental turmoil when you don't have these things. You keep on, a lot of people ruminate on these things. Ruminating is when you stop and you start thinking about a negative thing that happened in the past over and over and over again.
It's like wine festering, yeah.
Right. It's kind of like, the law of attraction, but for negativity.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And people, it's called rumination.
So it's like what Brandon Carter always talks about, yeah. You think about it, it's going to happen.
Does he say it? What does he say?
He always talks about how if you think about these things all the time, like it's like the guy who thought about how the ball was going to go between his legs in the World Series and it actually happened to him. If you
Right.
think about these things all the time, it just makes it worse. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
help you.
I believe in that, bro. I'll tell you another story later, but 1,000%. I brainwashed myself into my success. I'm straight up.
for
No,
for real.
I'll tell you about it later. But going back to this, so these subconscious traumas are stored in your mind, and they cause you to not function correctly, and create situations of like self sabotage too. This is why you'll see a person, for example, a guy. He his house is full of all the exercise gear. He has all the protein. He has all the supplements. He's got the Quest bars. He's got the Weight Watchers. He's got the Atkins. He's got
Mhm.
the Muscle Milk. But he still can't He can't lose the weight because something's up here
Oh,
that's wrong. It's like a self sabotage thing. Like they'll start doing good. They'll start hitting the gym consistently. They'll start changing the way they eat. They'll start doing all these good things. But when they get to this new realm of physical success, the kind of the vibration, I don't want to use that word vibration, but like, you know, the higher level of mental clarity that you have to be at in order to be a successful person. They get a taste of that, and then they're like,
I'm
"Oh,
not meant to have this.
this feels weird."
Yeah,
Right? This is why you'll see some girls when they're in a relationship and everything's going good, and then just fucking, they'll flip the chessboard.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know about all this because I actually am diagnosed with BPD. So everything you're saying resonates with me heavily because this is everything I've had to learn about myself. Yeah.
Right. So I graduated with a bachelor's in science and psychology. So I
Mhm.
studied this. So I'm not just
That's why you know it so well. Yeah.
right. And I seen it in my community because here's the biggest thing about inner game. Right. I had noticed that the effectiveness of my programs was not the problem because about 50% of the guys would take my stuff. Oh, actually, I would say 30%. 30% of my guys would take my stuff, apply it, and have massive success.
Hmm.
Like, damn, bro, I made a course called Salt, just talk about how to like make a really high profile Instagram. I have a course called Body Language Mastery, which teaches you how to read a woman's body language to know when she's actually turned on, when she's turned off, when she's telling the truth, when she's lying.
Oh, that's so good.
I made $1 million from selling that thing.
That sounds like a really good course.
No,
I can
yeah,
see why.
click funnels, baby.
Yeah.
So they would take these courses, and some of these dudes would have massive success, like big, 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 big success, right? And I'd be like, yeah. But then the other half of guys, they would start to get some success, but then they would always regress, and their regression and their fallback kind of became a little negative, toxic, sad, or rage filled, one of those emotions, but it pulled them to a dark place emotionally. And then I started looking at these guys and interviewing them over the years. And I'm like, tell me about like what's going on. What happened with your mom and dad when you were little? And the dudes that were well adjusted, right? I mean, I have a good eye. I can look at people and tell if they're well adjusted or not.
Yeah.
You probably do
You're
too.
good at psychoanalysis.
Yeah, you too. But
Extremely. Yeah.
and it's from the streets, and it's also for real, but by being raised by women to an extent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I could see these things, and then I found out like this. I had this one white guy, right? He came to the program. He's making like 70 G's a year. He fucking came in at the right time, doubled his salary up to like 140, and then like made close to $1 million in crypto in the 2021 bull run, right?
Yeah.
And I had another guy who had a better paying job than him, right? But was making more money per month, had more time and resources and everything, but couldn't get ahead. And this guy here was abused by his father and mother, abandoned by his father as well. And he has high levels of trauma, high levels of distressed inner game, right? And that's why when you can't clear these traumas, then you're handicapped.
Literally
Yeah,
handicapped. Yeah.
you have to break those traumas. You have to cure those traumas. You have to release them. And the
It's
way
another form of a hero's journey that's just harder to break.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so what we do is we have a team of people who do hypnotherapy. So and this sounds crazy, I know, but just listen. I've done it myself. So you get hypnotized and your conscious mind goes to bed, and then they kind of tell you to relive the past
Yeah.
moments that happen. And people have started reliving these past moments and crying and like kind of like with the guide there, you are releasing this trauma, and this is catharsis. This is the goal of all therapy.
Yeah.
So they release this, and so this happened to me. I did a session because I was like I said, I was super abused by like my aunt. Just verbally, just like you're a devil, you're a little fucking snake of a kid. I'm
Fucks
like,
your head up. Yeah.
yeah, dude, I was 9.
Yeah.
I was like, lady, like I just want pineapple juice and watch commercials, like and you're like, you're a fucking antichrist, it's crazy, and you don't know how to react to that because you're so helpless as a child, right?
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I did stuff, but when we relived it, I started crying during the session. But I swear to God, when I was done with everything, I physically felt like 15 pounds lighter.
Yeah, literally, your spirituality takes that weight off of you.
Yeah, and the thing is, so many people have that in them right now.
I would say 95% of the population, man.
And it stems from broken families, broken homes where dad is not in charge. When a dad's in charge, there are no fucking strippers on the stripper pole.
No sons in jail,
and the sons are not in jail.
Yes.
Okay. So
yeah, it all goes back to the nuclear family, guys. This is what I'm trying to do with this show. I'm trying to bring it back, dude. Thank you.
Nuclear family where dad is the boss.
Yes.
That's the way it works, kids.